Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen once again, and today we are back at it making some very simple foods basically. My wife grew up knowing the so-called mushroom cups, and so I looked up a few things, how to make them and stuff like that, and of course I want to put my own spin on it. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's make something like that. So essentially it's more or less like an appetizer when you go somewhere, or you can use it as a snack. I don't know. She wants to have that, and remember, she's pregnant, so that's why whatever she craves, she gets. Well, she's the boss now because she has another boss in her, bossing me around. Anywho's, so let's jump into it, guys. Alright, so I have some romini mushrooms here. Typically you can either use something like that, as long as they're small like that, or you can use the button mushrooms, which are typically white. So this is what we found, that's what we're going to be using. Basically I'm going to make two types of different mushrooms. I'm going to make one which is stuffed, and then one which is not stuffed. But either way they're going to be, I have my eggs here, I have my milk here, I have some breadcrumbs, and I have some flour. So I'm going to basically give it a coating. So you could do it different ways. You could make a batter and then you can dip everything into the batter and then deep fry it, or you could just make, do it kind of deconstructed batter in a way. So you have your eggs, you have your, your milk, you have so on and so forth, and then you do it that way as well. Alright, so I'm just going to basically get those mushrooms out, and I'm going to make a stuffing for it. It's gonna be like a cheesy sort of a stuffing for it. And I'm just gonna pop these out. You wanna work it out slowly. As you can see, that's why you want to be stuffing it and then breading it as well. So it's a good idea to have like a small spoon like that, or you use at the back of the spoon, whichever is the smallest part for you to use, and you do that. If you use a spoon, you want to go around it inside and then take it out. But this one here, they look perfect to me. I'm not gonna bother it at all, and I'm just gonna keep popping them out like that. And of course, now that didn't pop out properly, that's why I want to use, like, say, a spoon like that to take the rest of that. So there we go. We have those. So as you can see, I'm not taking the stems away because I'm actually going to use the stems as part of the stuffing that I'm going to make. I want to give it a really nice dice, like fine dice. Slice, and a quick dice once again. So today I had a pretty busy day, and I was basically doing a small backsplash in the washroom with tiling. So I'll be putting that video up very soon. If you're interested to do your own tiling in your own house, could do that for you. Look at a few tips that I have, maybe if it helps, if you thought about doing it, and maybe you have questions on how to do it yourself, just get DIYs. And also I have another video coming up of, basically I also did a bench slash kind of a storage by the entrance, and that also will be coming out very shortly. So stay tuned. I always have this fun, amazing stuff coming out, and of course I put up videos every single week. I'm gonna do a quick final chop, but before I do all that, I want to put some onions in here so that onions can start cooking. I cut up some onions already, as you can see. I'll let those in there. While that keeps going, let's get these mushrooms, give them a fine dice. So it's very interesting that my wife likes these mushrooms. What's interesting is she does not like mushrooms. As in, even if you put in a sauce, do like a mushroom soup or something like that, she'll pick them out because of the texture on them. So that's what's very, really interesting. But yet she loves them if it's like basically like a mushroom cup. She loves those ones. So I don't know what's with that, but I think it's interesting. Drop me a comment below. Tell me if you like mushrooms or you don't. And if you do, how do you eat yours anyways? Now the onions are pretty much now broken down, as you can see they're, you know, broken and building the flavors. Now I'm gonna put in my peppers as well. These are red bell peppers or sweet peppers. Basically they're good for you. They're sweet, so they're gonna give us the color as well. And then I'll be putting something else. I have some 2 eggs in here I'm going to be using. I can keep these two separate right now, or I can just put both of them together, which is basically more a liquid that I'll be using. So they don't have to say have to be separate, so but I'm gonna keep them separate. This all looking nice and golden and there, so I'm gonna put in those mushrooms which I've diced up. Basically they're quite fine actually right now. So I'm going to lower this down a bit, because what you want them to do is to start sweating, not burn, right? So I'm lowering down that heat a bit, and this is a stuffing basically that's we're gonna be having, and I'm going to put in a bit of cheese, and it's gonna be that kind of a cheese stuffed mushroom essentially. Okay. While that is still happening, what I'm going to do is use a bit of parsley in here again for some sort of a green color. Roasted garlic pepper. Also I have my flour here as well, which I want to season a bit. So I'm putting some roasted garlic pepper in there. I'm using some onion in here. I won't put that because I have onions already. I have some black pepper for this again to season, and so is our beautiful, you know, stuffing. I love Italian. I'm pretty sure by now you know my kind of spices that I use, and they create amazing flavors. Of course, that looks beautiful right there, and I'm gonna let it keep doing its thing. Gonna keep cooking like that. Oh, that looks nice. That looks amazing. As you can see, those colors, honestly speaking, they're all looking amazing, and the flavors in there are amazing too. I'm going to put in a bit of cheese, which is going to melt in. It might be melting a bit in there, and that's going to get everything combined together as well. So like that, so they won't be too cheesy, but they'll be cheesy enough. So I have basically I'm using my marble cheese, and also I'm using a bit of Parmesan cheese as well in there, because they're gonna be cheesy, right? And what I'm going to do is to combine this up. I don't want this to melt completely, that's why it's not on the heat, but that heat that I have in there is going to make this, I mean, you can even just use this as a dip right now, honestly. Okay, so this is our stuffing. As I said, it was going to be cheesy, and it's all really nice and cheesy. So I'm just going to basically get all this done and make it more like a circle like that, and that is all the stuffing that's going in it. That's one, and we keep going, of course. Just repeat the same thing. Just get that in there, stuff it up. That looks good right there. Yeah, looks amazing. That is done as well. They're quite tedious, but they're very well done, I would say. I'm going to like half and half of this. That is again right there, like that. Once again, there we go. And then I'm going to make some without stuffing. So we're going to essentially have three different ones. We have this, and we have these ones here as well. So 1, 2, 3 different ways of doing it. Okay, so now let's get to it. So I'm going to start off with probably these right here. I want to push this away. I'll do like that. Now I'll put these in here, dip it in, Okay, I put that in there, flour the baby up. After flour, okay, I'm going to go into here, which is our milk. After milk, I'm going to go into breadcrumbs right there. I did not do a butter. I would have done a butter for this, but just make a butter and then make it again a lot easier. But you want to do that, so again, that's it right there. So we're going to put this in to deep fry. All right, look at that. Those are in there, deep frying away, just like that. While that is happening, so basically I'm putting some eggs on there, and then from here I'm just going to drop that into our flour. Put the flour all over it like that. That looks great. And I'm going to drop this again in milk, and I put some milk, run them all over into milk like that. Yep, good to go. And I'll drop that again here like that. That's basically, that one would be ready. That's basically ready. Look at that. Have some of that like that, and put that in there. Same thing with this, so I'm gonna make this a bit faster. Put that on like that. Again, these are the ones which are stuffed, by the way. As you can see, the stuffing has to be a stuffing which has some kind of a binding to it, so that they don't run off when you put them, put them into a deep fryer, or when you're putting the flour and everything on them. Again, remember, you can always put your own spin on this. You don't have to be exactly the way these are. You can always do your thing, honestly. Be creative with your food, so that you can actually enjoy the process as well, while you and also enjoy eating them as well. There we go. Here, so it's a good idea to have one wet hand and one dry hand, as in what touches the dry does not touch the wet ingredients. So see that, if I put this arm in here, this arm doesn't do anything else but what is wet. And I'm thinking of making, by the way, a vegetarian chicken palm at one point, or a vegan chicken palm. So let me know if you think it's a good idea. If you want to try that, I will definitely work on that for you guys. And this will be the easiest, because I'm just gonna drop them in like that. I'll leave those, look at that, soaking up that beauty. In the meantime, I'm gonna drop these in. See that? Look at that. And they go. And if you do the coating properly, it will not, nothing will run off. So I'm just gonna give them a quick spin, so they are fully cooked, they get fully cooked in all sides. So when you hear that noise, because the mushroom is releasing the water from inside, and that means also it's getting cooked inside as well. So these are basically done. We're going to check them out now. That looks pretty beautiful. So basically that's it, guys. It's time to do some plating right now. Okay, so I want to show you what it actually looks inside if I cut it like that. Look at those. They're nice and tender, nice and soft inside. They're looking beautiful. So we'll put those here. So basically, it doesn't matter how you make it, which way you make it exactly, it will still look pretty good, honestly speaking. Okay, we're all ready, we're all done. Basically, we're going to test this out, but it would be unfair to my wife if I try them myself, because honestly, they're for her. She's pregnant, she loves these mushrooms, so I want her to try them and tell me what she thinks. So I hope I pass the exam.
Okay, I'll try the plain ones first.
Oh, yeah, that crunch. Has a crunch on them, eh?
That's very good.
Yeah, those are the ones which you are sliced in half. Okay, and then are you trying the stuffed ones?
Let's try the stuffed one, because that stuffing was delicious.
Yeah, I know. I was
all on its own.
I was actually surprised by that. I was going to make it nowadays as a dip by itself.
Even if you're not into deep frying, or you don't want this, try that. I would say try that.
And it had mushrooms too, guys, and she forgot.
That's pretty miraculous. So you should take that into consideration. Okay, this is the stuffed ones. You have to try that one.
Is it good? What? This one's here?
Try it with the
cream. Sour cream?
I'll
put a little bit on here. I'll try those.
And then
I've been given permission to try some.
You can have some. Are these just plain?
Wow.
And all of those things, all the spices and everything comes together so beautifully with that one.
Wow.
Okay, now this is just the plain breaded. And this is more of what I grew up with. That's what I was kind of craving.
Now she has reasons why she's craving it. Good?
Just as good.
You approve?
More than approve.
Oh, thank you. Well, I appreciate that. Okay, guys, looks like I've passed. Today I may be able to sleep in our bed. I think. I thought I was gonna be on the couch, but it looks like I've passed. So, yes. Oh, not to forget. By the way, we have a word of the day.
That's right.
And a word of the day, this time I'm gonna get my wife involved. So she's going to say it the way I'm going to say it.
Okay.
So, to fry, we say kusika. To deep fry, when you're frying something, we say kusika. Babe, can you say kusika?
Okay. Kusika?
Close enough. And she basically did. Is that on a pronunciation? See, when I speak, I have an accent. But when she speaks my language, she has an accent. So guess what? When you go somewhere else, you have an accent. That's what happens. So that's why we're all the same, basically, essentially. The only difference is what language we speak, right? So one more.
At this point, I only know a few words. So.
So one more time, the word is kusika.
Kusika.
That is to fry something. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming to our kitchen, and bye bye.